All right, I'm going to tell a story because a colleague told me this recently, and I thought it was endemic to servant leadership. I thought it was a beautiful example, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. So he told me about an interaction he had with a student. It was a coding assignment, a computational assignment, and the student raises his hand. The professor comes over, and the student says, "This is wrong. Why is it wrong?" So already when I'm hearing this, like my blood's like starting to be like, you just tell the student what's up. So anyway, this guy has much more cool, calm, collected demeanor, and he calmly tells the student, "Well, let's take a look at it. Did you write anything on paper? Sometimes it's easier if you write it on paper first, and then you translate it into the code." And so the student responds, "Well, that's a waste of time." And this professor just says, "Please just give it a try and I'll come back." So it comes back. And you know what like angry handwriting looks like, right? Like probably like wrote like this. And so it comes back, and the professor sees they put it written on the paper, looks on the computer screen. There's a unit messed up the units. So he acknowledges that, and the student says, not so politely, "Great, I'm glad I wasted all this time writing this up on paper." But I was getting so angry just like hearing the story. And so the professor just said, calmly walks away and doesn't even acknowledge that class period. Even if the student was, when somebody's in an angry mind state, right, they're not in a position to learn. And my reactive nature would be to like tell them at that moment, but they're not in a receptive position. So he calmly waits until the next class period, and then talks to him after the class. And it really struck me how he approached the situation where he said, "Say, what did you think about that interaction we had the other day?"
Wait.
And the student, was calmer, but still said, "Yeah, I don't think it went very well." And said, "Yeah, what do you think we could do better?" And he said, "We." Like, it wasn't like you. I can't be an instructor, so I can tell people what to do. I'll do it, but yeah, let's bring us all in. Let's see what. And so together, they came up with a plan for the class it was a debugging algorithm for all the students in the class, where they come across this problem, they follow these steps, so they could debug their own code. And it was really inspiring to see the patience and the absolute commitment to the growth of this student, really wanting this person to be the best person they can become. And so in the process, not only did they create something that was ultimately useful for the student, for the professor, so the professor doesn't have to debug things all the time, and for the rest of the class, now the student saw a few things. The student got their problem solved. The student gained confidence by having somebody legitimately care and hold the space for somebody in a difficult space or a difficult mood, and was inspired, whether they know it or not. But how often do we know, like, if we do something nice to somebody, then we can retrace that to, I remember when that teacher did that for me. And so it was really neat to see all that come together. And I think that's what's beautiful about servant leadership is there's so many external things we can point to, but there are so many things that are unrewarded. There's no extrinsic reward. There's no, and you can't put that on a resume, but somebody's life was changed. And so I'm very grateful to all of you because you're leading this movement to help change lives. So thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah.